This is Manjaro 17.1.10 with the XFCE desktop. This is one of 3 official desktop environments, and there are also several desktop environments that are developed by various members of the Manjaro community. You may notice that Manjaro is currently number 1 in the DistroWatch page hit rankings, and I believe it even exceeds the aggregate of all of the Ubuntus at this point. That doesn't necessarily indicate popularity, but it does indicate curiosity about Manjaro. Now, this is not the way it looked by default. I've tweaked it a bit and installed my own wallpaper, but I'll go into that later. I'd like to mention a couple of things at the outset which may help you get going. The download and installation were rather quick. I had no problems with either. However, on the first update, it went very slowly. It started out to take more than 3 hours. And that was a function of which mirror was enabled. So I want to go into that first. I think you should update as soon as possible. This is a rolling release, but before you update, choose a mirror which is close to where you live. And here's how to do that. I'm going to go to Add Remove Software, which in this case is PAMIC. This is a GTK front end for the command line package manager. And if you're using a Qt-based desktop like KDE Plasma, you're likely to get Octopi, which is the Qt-based front end. So to pick the repository, do not click on repositories. That's not going to do it. What you have to do is go over here to this menu symbol, the 3 horizontal lines, left click on that, and go to Preferences. Now you have to enter your password. Click on Authenticate, and under Official Repositories, it defaults to Worldwide. If that works well for you, keep it, but if it turns out to be very slow, which it was in my case, you can go down and choose one at or near your home country. And in my case, that's the United States. Then click on Refresh Mirrors List. If you click on Details, you see that there are actually 3 mirrors in the United States. So you may have to trust the system to choose the fastest of the mirrors on your list. With that out of the way, let me mention briefly how I tweaked this. It came with one panel at the bottom, and that panel had the whisker menu, space for some launchers. It had the window list, and it had the system tray with a rather truncated view of the time and a 24-hour clock. I've changed that considerably. I moved it up to the top. I took the window list and put it down here at the bottom. If I open an application, you'll see it appears down here at the bottom. I also put a Show Desktop icon on the left, Workspace Switcher on the right, and increase the number of workspaces to 4. I've gone through this with several other versions of XFCE, so I won't spend a lot of time with it here. As for the wallpaper, this is a photograph I took myself. This is not one of the standard wallpapers. If you right-click on the desktop and then left-click on Desktop Settings, you'll get wallpapers now. This is in my pictures folder, and for some reason it turned it around 90 degrees, but that's not actually the way it shows. If you go to the backgrounds folder, you'll see the desktops that come with the default installation. This one on the left is the default desktop, and these others all have either the Manjaro or the XFCE logo on them in some way. I didn't care for these, so that's why I installed my own. But that's the beauty of XFCE. You can tweak it any way you want, and this is made clear on the Manjaro webpage. This is a system that you can make your own. One of the things I did is I turned the whisker menu so that the categories are on the left and the particular applications are on the right. And I've also discussed that in past videos, so I'm not really going to go into it here. But you can do that simply by right-clicking on the logo here and click on Properties. Let me go into the default applications here. I'm not going to go into all of the accessories. They're the usual XFCE accessories. Under Education, you have LibreOffice Math. Under Games, you have Steam, which is the Linux client for Steam. You still have to pay for the games. Under Graphics, it comes with GIMP, LibreOffice Draw, and the Junior Image Viewer. GIMP is version 2.10. Now this is not quite the way it came. Let me go to Edit Preferences. This gives you a long list of things you can change. Under Theme, I have the gray theme enabled. It came with Dark, which is this one, and I have to click on OK. There's the dark theme. Now I go back to Edit Preferences, and under Icon Theme, I have the legacy icons enabled. It actually came with Symbolic, which is this one. And to tell you the truth, I hate this. I can't tell what any of these things are. Symbols are fine if you understand what the symbols represent, but if you don't understand what the symbols represent, they aren't very useful symbols. So you can keep this if you want, but I'm going to change it back. Under Theme, I'm going to go back to gray. And under Icon Theme, I'm going to go back to Legacy, which are the icons that I'm used to. Click on OK. One thing I wanted to mention, if I remember correctly, this came with the single window mode enabled by default. However, if in your case it doesn't, you can always enable the single window mode under Windows here. I haven't had a chance to go into the details of GIMP version 2.10, so I won't try to cover them here, but I use this application quite often, so I'll eventually get into the details. All right, so that's graphics. Now under Internet, it comes with the Avahi, server browser, etc., Firefox, and of course this is upgraded to Firefox 60.1, I believe. HexChat, it comes with Microsoft Skype Online. I'm not inclined to use that, but if you want to use it, it's there. Again, it comes with Steam. It's a little bit redundant, and it comes with Thunderbird. Under Multimedia, it comes with Audacious, Pulse Audio Volume Control, the Qt V4L2 Test Utility. I installed Simple Screen Recorder from the repository, and it came with a VLC media player and with XFBurn disk burner. Now under Office, this is quite unusual. It comes with a dictionary with the complete LibreOffice suite. It also comes with Microsoft Office Online already installed and enabled. Now, if you want to use Microsoft Office Online, you'll love this. I don't use it, and I'm going to get rid of it. I'll show you how in a minute. It also comes with the Orage Calendar and Orage Global Time, and with QPDF View. That's a Qt-based PDF viewer. Now let's go back to getting rid of Microsoft Office Online. To find out what you're actually going to get rid of, you have to right-click on one of these and click on Edit Application. And that gives you the actual name of the application. In this case, it's MS-Excel. I'm not going to change that. I just wanted that for the information. So I'm going back to Add Remove Software. I'm going to go under Installed here, and I'm going to search for MS-Office. There's Microsoft Office Suite Online for Manjaro Linux. I'm going to click on that, and that little green square turns into a square with an X on it. In other words, it toggles Installed to Remove. So now I'm going to click on Apply. Remove MS Office Online 18.04.4-1. Commit. Enter my password. And authenticate. Transaction successfully finished. So if I can get to the button up here, I'm going to click that. Now when I go down to Office, you'll see that all of the Microsoft Office Online applications have been removed. Of course, if you want them back, you can reinstall it. And then Settings again has the usual very long list of XFCE settings. This is the only thing I don't like about enclosed menus like the whisker menu. You have to scroll down when you get to long lists of applications. And when you're looking for something, that can take time. And here under System, again, you have Add Remove Software and the usual system applications. Among them is Manjaro Hello. And this is what greets you when you first open Manjaro. It has a README section which connects to the internet, a release information. This takes you to the Manjaro wiki. This takes you to Manjaro forums, to the chat room, to the mailing list. It shows you how to get involved. how to contribute to the development of Manjaro and how to donate to Manjaro. Now you can launch this every time you start, or you can toggle this and it won't relaunch, but you can always get it from the system menu. Since this is a rolling release, the only way of telling how stable it is to use it for a while. I've used Manjaro in the past for periods of time. Occasionally, I would run into a problem that caused me to have to reinstall, but it's relatively stable as rolling releases go. You're going to have to try it for yourself to see if it suits your needs. Going back to the repositories again, one thing regarding stability is that the official Manjaro repositories are more stable than the Arch user repository, the AUR. However, I've found that I need the AUR for some of the applications I use, and I need the AUR for the drivers for at least one of my printers and one of my scanners. So I can't use Manjaro without the AUR, and I've enabled it. As you can see, I've turned on AUR support and I've checked for updates from the AUR. So that makes it inherently a little less stable than it might otherwise be. Looking at the official Manjaro repositories, they're somewhat analogous to the Arch repositories, but they are not the Arch repositories. They have been curated to a certain extent by the Manjaro developers, and I'm not sure exactly to what extent, so I don't want to overstate my knowledge here, but they are different from the native Arch repositories. You have the core, the extra, the community, and the multilib, but those are relatively stable. With the AUR, you're always going to be at a certain amount of risk for instability, so just be aware of that. Regarding the memory use, I entered the free command in the terminal with Simple Screen Recorder paused, and then I turned Simple Screen Recorder on. So this shows 559 megabytes used for basically the desktop and the terminal and the paused Simple Screen Recorder. Now if I enter free again, Simple Screen Recorder is on, it's running, and it's using 576 megabytes. Not a lot, so it's a fairly lightweight desktop. And that's one of the things I like about XFCE. By the way, I have Compiz turned off, but I still have window snaps enabled. So that's just a quick look at Manjaro 17.1.10. I may keep this a while on my external drive where I have it installed to see how it fares over a longer period of time. If I run into any problems, I'll report on those. This is XRAM Tech. Thanks for watching.